Hi, it's Chef Jeff, and I'm excited to add something else to your toolbox. Today, we're gonna learn how to poach an egg. Poaching an egg is one of those simple but yet skillful things that you need to learn so that you can understand food a little bit better. So today, we're diving in, we're gonna poach an egg. It'll be pretty nice and easy. So the first thing about poaching an egg is your water, right? So the water level is only about this much higher than my egg. So I actually use an egg as a measuring device, and I kind of, put it next to there, filled my pot, and there you go. I've had a little bit of something to measure with. Now, the next thing people talk a lot about is let's add some vinegar to it, right? Well, you know what? Vinegar, it's just a wash, okay? When you add vinegar to your water, your egg is gonna taste like vinegar. Yes, it makes it kind of congeal and look all pretty and stuff, but I wanna taste an egg, I don't wanna taste vinegar, so stop doing that, okay? Get rid of it, stop doing it, you don't need to. I'll show you the easy way. The first thing about your water is make sure that the temperature is just right. So when you look in here and you see the water, when water boils at 212 degrees, right? And that's when there's all these bubbles, just rolling all over, bubbles everywhere, rolling boil. Well, what you wanna do is you wanna turn down your heat until you barely have any bubbles at all, maybe just a little bit. Then you can visually see that your water is at the right temperature, which is around 200 degrees. So I'm gonna turn my water down just a little bit. I've got some bubbles going on. Okay. I wanna turn it down just until the bubbles start to go away. Then I also wanna salt the water, because if you don't salt the water, your egg won't taste very good. So make sure you salt it just like you would do with pasta, just like you would do with other things, right? Salt it, give it a stir, dissolve the salt in the water. So now that the water is seasoned and tastes great, right? Then your egg will taste great too. Don't be scared to taste the water, right? The water should taste great and taste great. If you're not taking that time and attention to season the water, then don't even worry about cooking, all right? You don't even need to start cooking if you're not gonna take a little bit of time to just taste things and make sure things are right before you do the next thing. All right, so here we go. Take my egg, and I'm gonna crack it into a container of some sort. Right? Gently put it in there so you don't break the yolk. All right? And then from here, we're gonna do one spin. So I've got my spoon, we're gonna do this one spin in the water. And that will help your egg congeal. So I'm gonna take the egg, the container, and I'm gonna dip it into the water. Just like that. Right, so see how it's wet? That's because I dipped it into the water so everything stays nice and gentle. And then you just wanna keep an eye on it. So you might wanna adjust your heat just a little bit, right, as you put your egg in there, because the egg is cold and it's gonna cool it down. But let's talk about the water for a second. I'm kinda keeping an eye on my egg because when water is moving really fast, if you think about the rest of your life, anything that's happened, a flood, rivers overflowing, when water is moving fast, it destroys things, right? But when water is still, it'll cook this egg beautifully. And so you want to keep that in mind with all of your cooking. If you boil something, rapid boil all the time, your soups or your sauces, you're gonna break everything apart. But if you turn the heat down and control it and control the bubbles, then you can make your food look good in the end. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm gonna take a look at my egg. My water has pretty much stopped moving. I have a little bit of bubbles going on. Just a little bit of bubbles says, hey, my water is hot enough to do the job. Because what we like to teach here is how to cook with your senses and cook with your senses. So cook with your sight, smell, taste, sound, and touch. And then cook with the common sense too. Now, I can't help you if you got no common sense. Well, we'll just go on to the next video then, right? But no, just kidding. And so when you're cooking with your senses, I want to be able to see a little steam, look and see I've got a little bit of bubbles, right? And just use what you've got. God gave it to you. You might as well use it for everything you do, including cooking, right? So that means cooking's not so hard, right? So I'm gonna check my egg now. You gotta be gentle, use your senses. It's a soft egg. So I'm gonna check it. Now, the goal is for your egg to have this soft yolk, but the egg whites are firm. That would be a perfect poached egg if your egg yolk is soft and your egg white is firm. So I'm soft all the way around. So it's going back in, being really gentle. Get off my spoon. Okay? Talk to the food, it helps, okay? So there we go. We're just gonna give it another minute or two, and while it's happening, let's get our plate ready. So you eat with your eyes. So I'm gonna build a little plate and make it pretty so that we can have something to eat. All right, so first I'm gonna start with a little bit of oil, and I'm just gonna put a squirt of oil on there to make the plate look pretty, but also great flavor. That's some nice olive oil. I'll put a little bit of toasted bread on there, and then let's make it pretty by adding a little garnish to it. But this is edible garnish, and your garnishes should be edible. Something that looks pretty, but tastes great as well. Stick that guy there. And now the plate's ready for when the egg is. So as I pull my egg up, we should have a soft yolk, firm white. All right, so my proteins coagulate when you cook them. So all proteins do. And so my egg, the protein is firm here, but my yolk is soft. Now, sometimes I like to put it on a plate just to kind of dry it off, get some of the extra water off of it before I put it on my finished product here. So I put it on a napkin right there just to dry it off. Then we're gonna add the egg yolk, the poached egg, to my plate. And if you want to get a little crazy, with me, just live on the edge, right? And let's go ahead and cut that open and squeeze some of that out over the plate. So, poached egg, super simple, great way to have breakfast, and hopefully you can add that to your toolbox and start cooking some great food that tastes great every single time.